yeah. Oh yeah. Come on.
Jesus looking out for you, but is he looking out for me? Tired eyes that hold the tears burn red till it's hard to see. Body broken to my bones, but my heart's still pumping strong. I've sinned enough for 20 lives, so I'm right where I belong. The sky darkens and the wind blows some old blues. The path gets narrow, and there's just 2 lanes to choose. The road it opens, and the headlights coming through. For you. Can't begin to take it back, so I best keep moving fast. Faith alone is not enough, so I'm doomed to repeat the past.
Good afternoon, everyone. Boxing Miranza. I'm joined by two-weight world champion Mason Jones. How are you, Mace?
Very good. It sounds better every time I hear that as well.
Yeah, I bet. Does all of that settled? Have it sunk in?
Yeah, to be fair, this one sort of meant a lot more than the first one. I think it was more so the first one I sort of knew I was always going to win that belt. Like, it was always part of the sort of something that I had planned. It was always something that had been on my vision board. So it wasn't too much an excitement because I knew I was always going to do that. The second one sort of came out the blue when the opportunity sort of fell into my lap, and I sort of just run with it from there. So circumstance being what circumstances were, I just took it and run with it. So it really did mean a lot, and seeing how happy my family and stuff was and the friends.
Sorry, man. I get my little boy out there.
Get him on.
Yeah. Look, here he is.
Are you right?
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, Matt. Where was we?
That's no problem. How old is he?
He's 4. Yeah, he's a little head case, he is. Yeah, so social media and the whole of Wales who's interested in combat sports went absolutely mental for this fight.
Yeah.
How did that feel to be involved in that?
Oh, amazing. Obviously, my first title fight was the only show running during COVID. Like, all the UFC events were locked down, everything was sort of tied up. And we were the first event, the only sport to be live. And then this one, to be able to run a combat sports event through a epidemic, it was an unreal experience. Like, to be locked in a hotel, we were stuck in this hotel for 5 days, having to constantly walk into my opponent and tests and all sorts. It was a different experience. It was fun, to be honest. Like, we enjoyed it. I got to spend I don't know how many days locked in a hotel room with my coaches, and they're always a good laugh. My boxing coach is wild, so he made everyone laugh and tried teaching everyone to juggle, and they had a PlayStation all set up, so it was nice.
Yeah, it's great. Was it a bit of a mad experience with the no crowds and just the whole atmosphere?
It's you don't really notice too much. Like, cheer me out and having to cheer me on like I did for nearly every one of my fights is an unreal experience, and sort of it adds the atmosphere. But walking out with no crowd, it was just sort of like I'm in the moment. I mean, I'm ready for the fight and running through my head like everything I prepared, and I'm sort of getting myself in that zone. So it's different, but the main thing is you hear your coaches more, you hear his corner. With like this fight, after we had the first exchange, after I dropped him, and he sort of made his way back to his feet, we had a little bit of a clinch exchange, and we got separated. I was happy to sort of wait the rest of the round out. I thought it's a 5-round fight. He's a big boy. You tire him out and drown him. You don't need to pressure him too far yet. So I was going to sort of lift the accelerator a little bit off, and sort of like ease out of it a little bit. And I was going to start picking him up, make sure I won the round. And then I remember his corner shouting, saying I was tired. And it was so crystal clear. And I was just like, I'm not tired. I started pressuring again, just make sure he didn't get comfortable, because it's still, you can't let him get uncomfortable. But if they hadn't said that, to be honest, I probably would have eased out a little bit, and I would have given him a little bit more space. I would have picked him off and just still made him uncomfortable, but I wouldn't have put as much pressure on as I did. And obviously that pressure resulted in that left hook, which really did clip him, sent his eyes rolling in his head, and is what I used to finish him off.
So it was like when you heard that, something clicked, kind of like if you've seen Liam Williams over the weekend, he's seen his own blood, and something clicked in his mind that just drove him to the. So it was that kind of thing.
With the Liam Williams' fight, obviously he wants a quick turnaround and fight for that title. So as soon as he's seen that cut, he didn't know how bad it was. So I know he wanted to get him out of there quick, because he wants that world title fight. So you can't be having any cuts. So I know he definitely put the pressure down just to get him out. Unreal experience, and that was unreal to watch, the Liam Williams finish. Like I've seen Liam Williams. I remember we did the open workouts at his gym, Lockett's gym, and I remember just before they were going to film me, I said, "But you have to start punching that bag." He turned around, he gave me a look, and he was like, "What are you on about?" I said, "Mate, it's too loud." He said, "Every time you hit it sounds like a gunshot going off." I said, "I got to try and impress these people," and he had a little laugh. He did, but he's a nice guy, and he how hard that man hits is unbelievable.
Yeah, he's a beast. So you were the first person to do it since McGregor. What was it like waking up in the morning with two shiny belts?
Pissed my missus off, I think, because they took up too much of the bed. But it was nice. It was a nice experience. To be honest, this time, my coaches, my brother, they stayed up partying until like 4 o'clock in the morning while I went to sleep on early night. So they were literally they were over the moon more than I was, I think, this time. And like, for me, and the way they all knew this was something that was going to punch my ticket in the UFC. Like, I'm still waiting for that call, but I know it's not far away. And whether it be now or whether it'll be before the end of the year, I know I've definitely done enough. So it's just a waiting game.
Yeah. Talking about your missus, I heard she was giving you a bit of jip for missing a spin kick, if that's right.
Yeah, so it was the back kick I threw. So we spoke before the fight, all my coaches, and we'd known through the camp. So the game plan against him was the land of the hands, maybe work the leg if he switches to ortho, southpaw, nothing above the knee. So strikes the knee, but nothing higher than that. And then I just thought he'd slow down. So as soon as I felt him slow down, I thought, I'll work a body a little bit. So I timed this back kick, and as I did, he just moved with me as I spun. I did show it too much. Tells, as my girlfriend says, I showed too much tells. And he moves a little bit. I threw it terribly off target, and he managed to catch me with his left hand as I spun. And it wasn't so much, it wasn't a hard hit. He hit me off balance a little bit, but it wasn't anything dangerous. But she basically said, like, you have to, the thing about kicking, it's all about timing, all about kicking at the right time. Same as throwing a big punch. You can throw as hard as you want. If you're not timing it right, it's a waste of time. Yeah. And she literally she gave me an absolute pasting about it. So the exact words she used, she said, if you would mess that up, or she said, if he'd knocked you out, she said, either I would have had to delete all my social media, she said, or I would have had to stop speaking to all my Taekwondo friends. So I was like,
yeah, she was very pissed off then.
Embarrassing, yeah. My coaches are the same, because we spoke about it for ages. And I was the one saying, look, I won't throw any body kicks until the second round, and he starts getting tired. I said, first round, I'll just I'll work my hands, work his legs if I need to, but I'll just put the pressure on him. Yeah, perfect, no worries. And I saw this back kick, and they were not happy. So I've got review forms. Most of them I've done it, to be honest. I keep forgetting to give my boxing coach his review forms. So as soon as he has his, I can do mine, and then we'll have a review meeting. We haven't really rushed this time, so it's my fault. I'm a little bit behind. So as soon as we do that, they'll all give me a pasting about it. So I look forward to that.
One thing that intrigues me is about MMA is you must have so much to think about, because in boxing, you worry about their hands, but you've got so much to think about and worry about what to throw yourself and what's going to come back. How much time do you put into training and learning everything you can?
Like I train 3-4 times a day. Boxing like twice a day was enough. With the and obviously I do skills now and again just to reiterate and get them sort of solid, solidify them in my head sort of thing. With them MMA, it's such a fine balance, and it's so hard to balance everything, because like certain days you'll work wrestling, certain days you'll work my jiu-jitsu, certain days you'll work just my hands, certain days you'll work my kicking, certain days we'll work blending them all together, and certain days we'll sort of like just drill blending like my hands and my legs, and then maybe like my hands, my legs, and my takedowns, and you're taking the ground game out of it. Like there's so much to work. You got your hands, you got your knees, you got your elbows, you got your kicks, you've got your takedowns, you've got all your submissions. There's a lot of things. Like you don't get good at MMA just by being good at one area. Not anymore. Like you used to be able to carry through. Like if you could knock people out, you could carry through. Now you have to be good at knocking people out and defending takedowns, and then you have to be good at sort of your clinch work, your cage work, and then obviously you have to be good at managing distance. You've got to be good at your kicks as well, and then you've got to be good at your takedowns. Yeah. Then you've got to be good at jiu-jitsu at the same time. And MMA jiu-jitsu is different than normal jiu-jitsu. So it's such a complex sport. Like I love boxing. I boxed a long time, but I just find that MMA is just more. It's just more. So like boxing has always been fun. Like I boxed inspired today. I boxed inspired with Jamie Cox and one of the old world championship boxers. It's good sparring. But like I just love MMA more. Like when you're clinched up against the ropes in boxing, they always tell you to split. Whereas in MMA, like it just carries on. It just seems to be more fluid. So it's just different. It's just different. Like boxing was always difficult because as soon as they're clinched up and they're tight against the ropes, it's such a nightmare to crack someone's shell. And then you have people who are very fast at distance, so it's really hard to deal with if someone's really good and picking you off a distance, where MMA just gives you more options to things. So it's both easier and both harder in certain aspects.
Where did it start, Morg, the MMA?
Oh, the MMA. So my first kickboxing club I went to was the first gym I started when I was 7. They did like a traditional sort of self-defense / traditional jiu-jitsu class. And that was just the early versions of MMA and how they did. Like he used to run the strike and grapples, which a lot of people started their MMA careers. Like I know a lot of nearly everyone in Wales basically started their career in the strike and grapples. So that was the early thing for me, and that was where I knew I always wanted to go. And then obviously with Richard Shaw doing what he did with the Pain Pit, which went on to the Cage Warriors Wales shows, he sort of just opened the doors for us, and I sort of turned at the perfect time, especially with all the COVID stuff. Like there's so many very, very good Welsh talents I know in the area who's struggling now because they've only had a couple of pro fights or this and that. And I just hit such a good time where Cage Warriors want to push me, so they made sure my fights would go ahead, and it was sort of more invested in me at the time. So I really sort of I caught the right bus, so to say. Especially now, if I get this UFC ticket, then everything this year would have been the best year for Warriors. For a lot of people, the worst year of their life.
Yeah. So it's definitely all paid off, the training multiple times
far.
a day. Yeah, so far. I'm sure it'll carry on. So what's the score with UFC now? Have you had any contact at all with them, or just waiting on a phone call?
They'll sort of contact my manager. And last thing I heard, he was trying his best. The only thing at the minute is UFC. They do have a lot of fighters on the books. They're cutting a lot of fighters, and I do know that ESPN put a lot of pressure on him with the COVID, because a lot of people obviously at home watching sport. They wanted all the fights matched up to the end of January. So he basically said straight away, look, the only way you're going to get in, the only way I can see you getting in is if you take a short notice fight. I said, yeah, no problem. So I jumped straight back into camp, and I've been in camp. Well, God, I started camp 2 weeks after my last fight. I basically jumped in, and then it was maybe a month or two before you get all my coaches back. So that was March, April, probably the end of April, maybe the start of May, I jumped into camp. So I've been in camp for, 6 months, maybe more. And I'm happy to push through. I'm happy to keep going. Do you know what I mean? There's no problem for me. I'm happy to keep sparring, keep running, keep my weight down, keep eating clean. Like I'm not eating shit. I'm eating like religious, same as normal weight cut, and I'll just keep pushing through. But so far, it seems most like there's been a few pullouts, and I put my name forward for everyone and said, look, if they ask, I'm happy for that. And what he's come back to me and said so far is, look, they seem to have their own, either they've got fighters in place for the replacement slots, or because of COVID, they're just not interested, because obviously it's hard at the minute, because to fight in the States, you need a visa. and you have to be, obviously, USADA tested and this tested and that tested, and you have to be signed up with these. You have to have this done. You have to have these medicals done. So trying to take a short notice fight during COVID is a bit of a nightmare, but I'm ready. So it's just waiting for them. They could ring tomorrow. They could ring in December. They could ring in January. So as far as I know, I'll just stay in camp until they want me, and I'll go from there. But if they don't, then there's that Cage Warriors December card, so I'll happily defend then. But so far as I know, I'm not fighting December in Cage Warriors. I'm just waiting for the UFC.
After your fight with Lawrence Tracy, you kind of mentioned that UFC is not the main goal or along them lines. But now, is it your only option to fight the best in the world?
So what I meant by that was a lot of people, I don't know how to compare it to in boxing. A lot of people focus on getting to the UFC so much. They get into the UFC and then they stall. They're like, oh, I made it in the UFC now. And then they look for for the easy fights. They want them easy fights. Like, I've never looked for easy fights. I've always took what's up. So like my last 6 opponents, I go back to this in a lot of interviews now because it was someone sent me the fact and I checked, it was actually correct. And my last 6 fights is something like their combined records was 59, 17, and 1. So that's 59 wins, 17 losses, and 1 draw. So like I've always been chasing, do you know what I mean? Those top hunters, those top fighters, those are the ones I wanted. So if they come into me on my debut and say, look, you're fighting this guy, he's 70-0, I'd happily take that fight. Those are the fights I want. I don't want someone who's 3-3 or 5-2 or 6-4, but he's fought some good guys. I want those people who are winning, the ones who are smashing people, the ones people are scared to fight. Those are the ones I want. So when I said that about the Lawrence Tracy fight, I always said like I knew I was going to get in the UFC. It was always known. Like Bellator, I was never interested in. Risen and stuff like those. One, they're brilliant shows, but I want something that people watch. Like when you ask, like when you speak to a lot of people, a lot of casual fans, they always say, "Oh, do you do that UFC stuff?" That's what they say. They don't say, "Do you do that Risen stuff?" or "Do you do that One stuff?" It's always, "Do you do that UFC stuff?"
Yeah.
And like that's always appealed to me because like those are the people who are going to buy T-shirts. Those are the people who are going to be there to support me. Those are the people who are going to catch a red-eye flight out there, Madison Square Gardens to watch me fight. And they're going to be outside of venue trying to get tickets. Like those are the guys. Like if I can appeal to those, then that's a dream come true for me. Because like I know the hardcore fans, the ones that understand the sport, the ones who have watched since the beginning, they'll always like me because I'm entertaining. I train hard, and I have the skills to back it up. I know that. I have to know that as a fighter. That's not arrogance. It's just the confidence in my ability. So the UFC's always been a stepping stone for me. That's the best way. It's a milestone. Still, it's the same as winning that first belt. That's why the difference between me winning that first belt and me winning the second, because the second belt, I kind of lost my head a little bit. It's because like the first belt was a milestone. The second belt was something that I never dreamed I could do. Like UFC's a milestone. But sort of like if I got a title fight in 2 years, that would be phenomenal for me. Because I know like how hard it is to earn fights and to earn these wins in these divisions. So I know I'm gonna have to get like on a 6-fight win streak. So getting 6 big wins in 2 years would be phenomenal. But I'm happy to try. Do you know what I mean? I'm just gonna go out there as soon as the UFC come all in. I may have to put one more in first. But whether I'm 10-0, 11-0, 12-0, as soon as the UFC call, I'll be happy to take it and I'll start eliminating people.
Is there anybody you'd like to fight straight away when you went to UFC?
Oh yeah, Dustin Poirier, Dan Hooker, Habib, Justin Gaethje. God, who else is there?
Straight to the big names.
Barbosa. Yeah, like those are the dream names. There's all these Dagestanis that people are scared to fight, and they have such a bad reputation. I'd love to piece some of those up. Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of them are flat-footed wrestlers, so I'd love to light some of those up. Like I said, there's a guy from KSW who's 70-0. I'd love to have pieced him up. Like I said, all the Dagestanis, like all the fun fights. You know what I mean? Like I'm happy to go in there if they want to try and make me bleed and they want to make me suffer for it, then that's all the more enjoyable for me. Like I don't care. I'll go in there and you can smash me for 3 rounds, and in those last 30 seconds, I'll knock you out. It's easy as that.
I've seen a lot of debates was going on not so long ago with John Jones and things about the money in UFC and MMA. Do you think they underpay the fighters for the entertainment value? Considering the entertainment value, I should say.
The only thing I'd say on that is how long's boxing been around? Years. Donkeys years. Probably, 200 years?
For as long as 2 men I've got a pair of hands.
Yeah.
Boxing's been around.
Exactly, and for a sort of high class fight, like it was big before Muhammad Ali's era. Do you know what I mean? Like it was always big then, though it's been big for a long time, and sort of they've had that time to build up. MMA hasn't had that time. Like I understand people say this all the time. They say like I seen it before. I seen it on the when Habib fought McGregor, and they was like, look, that the money that took on the gate, they only got paid 5%, this and that. Like those guys got paid more than that. They definitely did. But even if they took 10 UFC's earnings for that night, that's a large amount of money, because these events, they still have to earn money. They still have to pay staff. The top of these organizations have to take their pay. So like the way boxing pays is because it's been going for so long. They have so much invested in there that they can afford to pay these guys. So by the time I'm fighting for titles, it wouldn't surprise me if they're paying more money. But the end of the day, I'm smart. I know I'm chewing. I know how to make money. So if I can, I'm never going to be. I'm never the way I plan things out and the way things go in. I've got more than enough ideas to make money, so that I can earn money without having to fight. The money will.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, it's no problem at all.
Bloody kid.
Cool, but it's no problem at all. The money from the fights will just be a bonus to me. Like if I can earn enough money to pay my tax bill from everything else I can earn money from, then that's it. Like for me, there's other ways to make money while fighting. So that I know a lot of fighters just focus on the fighting aspect there, and they need money. Like I'm smart enough to know that you always got to try and build up other sources of income. So now I'm starting to get that place where I can start earning money. I can start finding ways to make money as well. Like not saying now I have enough income, because at the minute, like I earn enough for a low salary wage, but I'm probably earning about the same as minimum wage. You know what I mean? So it's just I just do it because I love it. And the fact that I can say right now that I'm earning minimum wage while chasing my dream, that is a phenomenal thing for me. Like I'm so happy with that, because there's other fighters who they have to work minimum wage jobs while fighting just to have money, because they have no income. So I'm so blessed and so like honored that I've earned that wage. So I'm earning minimum wage money, and you give me another couple of years, do you know what I mean? And I'll be earning doctors' salaries while fighting in UFC, do you know what I mean? And that's without my fight purse. So that's what I want to do. Like earn as much as a surgeon without needing to fight. And then when you fight, there's never that extra pressure of people who they're like, I have to win because I have to pay my expenses. And you don't want that. You want to go in there with we always call it the Justin Gaethje mindset, which is I don't care and I don't give a but I'm just going to go out there, I'm going to throw some hands and I'm going to enjoy myself, and I'm just going to enjoy every second of it. And like that guy, that's why he's doing so well, because he goes out there with every mindset, just dismantling people. And that has been me since the start. So we're getting there. We're still not in a place where I'm comfortable. Like I'm still living at home. There's no way I can live on my own. There's like I don't even think I can pay rent for a house at the moment with my salary and stuff. My girlfriend's a student as well, so I'm not quite there yet, but it's coming. Do you know what I mean? I've got even now, like we're not signed a UFC contract yet. I'm not in yet, so like there's things, as soon as I get to that point where there's things I can start doing, and there's things I'm trying now which they're going to start in the next couple of weeks, and there are different ways which eventually will start making me money.
Because I see in the video of Joaquin Buckley, is it? Joaquin Buckley, and with that amazing kick that he done.
Yeah.
They reckon it's one of the...
I couldn't remember their names, but that's why I was like, I remember the kick you're on about though. It was
fantastic.
The turn back kick, the turn jump back kick. So
jump back kick. I seen a video later on of Dana White come in and saying to him that he's got a 50k bonus, and also someone else have offered to give him 10k for the knockout. And obviously, as an exciting fighter, that's something you would be aiming for as well.
Oh, mate, 100%. And it's not just that. Like, can you imagine how many people? So you imagine like rich Sikhs, rich investors watching those fights. Someone who just likes fights. They're absolutely loaded, but you would never know it to watch fighting. Who could just think, I like that guy. I'm gonna make sure that guy gets to fight again. He could message him and just say, look, mate, are you looking for sponsorship? Here's 50 grand a year. Do you know what I mean? So. Like it opens up opportunities for you. Like to this day and age, winning fights isn't enough. Like you have to do The same thing that like Liam Williams does. He goes in there and dismantles people. Like it's exciting to see. Like that's what you have to do. You just gotta be vocal about it without being insulting. Like I don't believe you need to talk shit and you need to be that type of guy. You just need to be exciting and sort of sell yourself, market yourself in correct ways. But there's ways to market products without being an idiot about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Have you got a favorite knockout yourself?
Well, I've only done 4.
Yeah.
4 in the fights. God. To be fair, the Lawrence Tracy and the what's his name? The Polish Machida fight. They were both sort of body shot knockouts, where I sort of hit ground and pound, and I just literally just crushed them. Like they had nothing left.
Yeah.
The Joe McColgan fight, I clipped him with that knee, and I remember he was done. And then the Adam Proctor knockout, after I hit him with that left hook, like he did well to survive that long because his eyes. I caught his foot, I pressured in, and as I threw his legs to the side, I remember just seeing his eyes just spinning in his head. So he was done. Do you know what I mean? So to stay in there as long as he did, he did well. But like I broke the 2 of them and I sparked the 2 of them. So I think the Adam Proctor fight meant the most to me. Like that guy was probably 10 kilos heavier than me at the time. He was 4 inches bigger and about 10 kilos. So he was a big lad. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm 5'10", he was 6'3", and I think I went in there about 80 kilos, and I wouldn't be surprised if he went in there less than 88k. So he had about 8 to 10 kilos on me, and do you know what I mean? I took his chin. So
yeah.
I'm only getting better, and I think you're going to see some incredible knockouts. But I'm just trying to let my legs go because I know I can knock people out with my legs. Like I've rocked people in training multiple times. It's just trying to get it to click in the fights, and I know it's coming. So you'll see a more dangerous version of me soon.
Yeah, that's great. I hope so. So you've already started your legacy. You've already made history. When you retire and leave the sport, what legacy do you want to leave?
That's a brilliant question. So already, like I said, that fight cemented my legacy, especially as a Welsh fighter. Like I'm the 3rd double champ in Cage Warriors history. Dan Hardy, then McGregor, then me. Like those 2 were top names. So I'm going to keep rising to the occasion, and I'm going to prove that there's a reason I've done that and that I deserved my name to be up there with those guys. I'm going to cement myself as an absolute beast who went out there and fought the best fighters and earned his rank. Like the whole undefeated thing, the whole double champion thing, the whole like the whole champ thing. None of that's a weight around my neck. None of that's going to pull me down and add extra pressure. All it does is it sharpens the blade sort of thing. Like it makes people more afraid. So when I'm in there, people are starting to see what kind of threat I am, and the better opposition I have, the better version of me you'll see. So I'm just going to go out there in my next fight and put on an absolute picture-perfect performance, and I'm just going to dismantle people, and people are going to start realize I'm a contender, and people are really going to start to see. Like at the minute, I'm the number 1 ranked lightweight in Europe, and I'm the number 5 ranked welterweight in Europe. I've had 1 welterweight fight. Do you know what I mean? So people understand, people are seeing, and as soon as I start chipping away at these lightweights, then they'll see. Because in that fight, I was a lightweight. I was beating welterweights as a lightweight, and I can beat welterweights as a lightweight. So wait till I go and see what I can do to a proper lightweight.
You know, not blowing smoke up your ass, but don't know when you talk about it, you can see the passion coming from you. You can see the passion and the love for the sport.
It's that Welsh fire, do you know what I mean? Like we're a nation of fighters, and we're a nation of warriors. So I'm just happy to go out there and carry that flag in the battle every time I get the chance.
Yes. So I'm gonna finish off now more with with some quick fire questions to you. So quick fire questions to you. Stand up or wrestling?
Stand up.
Stand up. Favorite meal after fight night?
A burger normally. I'm not doing this time, but I usually go to a place called Beefy Boys. Like they don't sponsor me or anything. I just love their food. So it's in Hereford. So they do good burgers.
But if they want to sponsor you, they know where to go.
Yeah, well, I'm a celiac, so I can't eat wheat, so I'm allergic to gluten. So they do really good gluten-free burgers. Normally they're terrible, and they do really good ones. So yeah, Beefy Boys, Hereford.
McGregor or Khabib too, and the second fight.
Heart says head says Khabib. Heart says McGregor. Like I love to see McGregor chin him, but I think Khabib's just too smart. Just too good at what he does for McGregor. Like I think he's smart, and I think McGregor could beat him, but I just don't think he loves it enough to do it anymore.
Most embarrassing moment?
Oh, for me, in life or in fight?
In life.
Oh shit. I've done some embarrassing stuff. What can I say? Oh god, I don't know. You put me on the spot with that one. I can't think at the minute, mate. I wish you'd say me down. I would have prepared for it, but yeah, I've done some stupid stuff sometimes. I know. I remember I've got a thing for it a minute where if I call someone the wrong name, I'll keep calling them the wrong name over and over again. Not because I'm a prick, but just because I genuinely start to get that flustered. I'll keep calling them the same name over and over again, and they get really irritated about it. I'm like, so I gotta try and play it off as a joke game, but I'm not joking. I do it seriously.
Yeah. And last one was Dan Gumshield the best you've had?
Oh, mate, definitely. Yeah, he just made me a new one. So after the fight, my old man framed that Gumshield, and then I couldn't find my spare one. I lost my spare one after the fight. So to be fair to him, I rang him and said, "Look, I need a new Gumshield." And he gave me a temporary one, and then I picked my new one up off him on Saturday morning. So I've used it sparring, and it's saved my teeth a few times. So yeah, it's brilliant Gumshields.
Yeah, he told me to throw that one in.
He throws out the good ones, mate. They are good Gumshields. He's doing a fit-in for down at Celtic Pride on Saturday, hopefully. So I think he's got about 28, 29 people there who want to have Gumshields fitted. So I have spread the word.
Yeah. Yeah, and a shout out to Dan as well. He does a lot of free stuff for people. He does a lot to help, helps loads of rugby teams and stuff. He's a good man.
He is good. Good as gold.
So I leave that there now, miss, and thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Look at that, mate. Smack on 30 minutes. I can get to the gym and run now in perfect time. So thank you very much.
No worries, but I really appreciate it. I enjoy jumping
anytime,
over.
Man. Speak to you soon. And give your son my best as well. He's very cute. Very cute.
Yeah, thank you very much. Ta-ra, bud.
No worries. Have a good day. Bye.
Ta-ra, bud.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.